Chapter 127. Grandpa. Is this monkey not a Jidan stage demonic beast? A guard was shocked. This person even has a Jidan stage demonic beast. The source is not simple. Be careful in dealing with it. The other guard gruffly reminded his companion, then walked forward and said in a deep voice to Kangchon, "Little brother, this is the Jin mansion. May I ask, what is your business?" If it was just an ordinary person, these two guards naturally wouldn't be so polite. But for a powerful cultivator and so young, they wouldn't dare to be careless. Knowing that the Heavenly Tao sect's discipleship ceremony was approaching, all the young masters of the Great Tang Kingdom were converging towards the imperial capital. At this time, one could see some strong youths everywhere on the streets, and it was hard to guarantee that this person was not a close friend of one of the Qianfu's young children, so the two guards didn't dare to be offended. Kangchon sniffed and looked at the guards, smiled and said, "I'm looking for Jin Sanxiao." The two guards were shocked at his words. Jin Sanxiao was the young master of the Jin mansion, and had already been indicated as the next head of the Jin family. His status in the Jin mansion was exalted, and was only a little bit worse than the current head of the family. "Dare I ask the young warrior's name?" "We will inform you right away," the two guards instantly asked with a face full of respect. A young warrior who could be associated with Jin Sanxiao. That was definitely the top young powerhouse of the Great Tang country, or else the others would not be worthy at all. Kangchon smiled faintly and said, "You tell him. Just say that I'm from Heavy Iron City." The two guards were a little hesitant. From Heavy Iron City. To want to meet the young master of the Jin house, the four masters of the imperial capital, just based on this. They couldn't help but look at Kangchon with a pang of suspicion. This kid was not one of those boring people who came to climb up the ladder. With Jin Sanxiao's status in the imperial capital, there were quite a few people who came to the door in the past. However, these two guards still had some eyesight. They could see that a youth who could possess a demonic beast of the Jidan stage definitely had an uncomplicated identity. At that moment, one of the guards cupped his fists and said, "Please wait for a moment, young warrior. I will immediately go and inform." Kangchon nodded, then stood to the side to take a good look at the scale of the Jin mansion. The other guard knew that the youth in front of him was not simple, and waited at the side, not daring to be slow. "What's wrong, kid? This bit of grandeur has subdued you." Emperor Dan's mocking voice sounded in his head. "It's naturally nothing to you, old man. But kid, it's the first time I've seen such a huge mansion." Kangchon smiled blandly, undeniable to Emperor Dan's mockery. "Haha, you kiddies calm. When you arrive at the Heavenly Tao sect, you will know what is truly shocking. I hope that by then it won't stun you, kid." Emperor Dan smiled and said, "Heavenly Tao sect." A hint of anticipation surfaced in Kangchon's eyes. This day was not far away. In the middle of the Jin mansion, Jin Sanxiao was discussing the matter of the life and death stage with Master Feng Yuan. As early as a year ago, Jin Sanxiao had started building the life and death platform, and now it had reached the final stage of completion, with 1 month to go before it was finished. This time, the life and death platform was very spectacular. Jin Sanxiao had spent a lot of effort on it, just to let Kangchon give the Li family a hard slap in front of everyone when the time came. For this, the Li family secretly also exerted some small means to stop the construction of the life and death platform. But in the face of the Jin family's strength, the Li family still came up short. And in the end, they could only watch unwillingly as the life and death platform was constructed bit by bit. Third young man, you didn't see. Those people from the Li family were furious. When they saw the life and death platform, they couldn't wait to eat it in one bite. Master Feng Yuan said smilingly. Jin Sanxiao smiled grimly at his words and said, "He, their Li family wants to keep a low profile. But I, Sanxiao, I am going to make this appointment known all over the city. No, it's the entire Great Tang Kingdom that will know about it, letting their Li family completely load a big heal this time. Third young master, aren't you afraid that Kang Chong will flip the boat in the gutter when the time comes? You have to know, the Li family is not simple. I heard that Li Yuanba gave all that dragon pearl to Li Laoki. Now Li Laoki is in seclusion. With their Li family's ability, if they fully support them, they can definitely raise Li Laoki's cultivation to the 9th level of the Jiden stage realm. Within a year, Master Feng Yuan was worried. I have confidence in my brother. Back then, I saw his potential, and he indeed didn't disappoint. This time I believe he won't let me down either. Jin San Xiao sneered. As he was talking, a guard hurriedly came and said respectfully to Jin San Xiao, "Young master, there is a youth outside who claims to be from Heavy Iron City who wants to find you." Splat! The cup in Jin San Xiao's hand fell to the ground and shattered. Kang Tian. Jin San Xiao and Master Feng Yuan stood up at the same time. Both of their eyes were filled with surprise, truly speaking of the devil. Quickly let him come in, forget it. This young man will personally invite him himself, Jin San Xiao said anxiously. On the side, Master Feng Yuan laughed and said, "The old immortal will also go. Speaking of which, we haven't seen each other for almost 3 years. I wonder what has become of that little fellow back then." Saying that, Jin San Xiao and Master Feng Yuan directly flew away with their swords, disappearing in the sky in the blink of an eye. Kang Tian, isn't it the legendary overlord, Kang Tian? The guard who remained in the same place had a dazed look on his face. Although the Jin mansion was large, under Jin San Xiao and Master Feng Yuan's imperial sword flight, they felt the Jin mansion's gate in a few moments. From a long distance away, Jin San Xiao saw a purple-clothed youth standing outside the Jin mansion's gate, and on his shoulder, there was also a small monkey with a full body of golden hair squatting, scratching its ears towards the surroundings. Ha ha ha, Kang Chong brother. Jin San Xiao laughed loudly and flew down, running towards the door with great strides, with Master Feng Yuan following closely behind him. Fatty 3. Kang Chong's eyes lit up, and he instantly saw Jin San Xiao. That guard on the side heard Kang Chong call Jin San Xiao as 3 fatty. His jaw dropped in shock. Who the hell is this? Grandmaster. How dare you call him 3 fatty in front of the young master? In this imperial capital, besides the 4 masters of the imperial capital, who else has such big guts? I say, you brat, pulling my face as soon as you arrive. Jin San Xiao almost fainted in anger at his words. In this great Tang country, the one who dares to shout at him as 3 fatty is probably only Kang Chong. Haha, when you lose weight, I'll stop shouting. Kang Chong laughed out loud. All right, this young man won't see eye to eye with you countryside man, go. Let's go in and talk. Jin San Xiao laughed, then pulled Kang Chong into the middle of the Jin mansion. Master Feng Yuan, long time no see. Kang Chong couldn't help but reveal a smile when he saw Master Wind Edge. Haha, little fellow. Now the old man can't be your master. Grandmaster Wind Edge laughed. It wasn't true, just in terms of strength. Right now he was definitely not Kang Chong's opponent. Kang Chong also couldn't help but reveal a smile. Back then, the Windy Edge Master was almost looked up to in Heavy Iron City. But now he, Kang Chong, already had the strength to defeat the Windy Edge Master. Time flies, 3 years in the blink of an eye. 3 years ago, Kang Chong had just passed his 18th bar mitzvah, and it was also the time when he had made a splash in Heavy Iron City. That year, Kang Chong had experienced the blow of his 9th foundation establishment failure, and it was the time when his life was plunged into the darkest. However, an accident had allowed him to meet Xiao Jin and obtain the inverted heavenly cauldron. So he released the Dan Emperor, who had been sealed in the inverted heavenly cauldron to recuperate from his injuries. And from then on, under the guidance and help of the Dan Emperor, he had come to this point today, step by step, from the Heavy Iron City's annihilation of the Lin family to avenge their hatred, to Fengdu City's rise to fame and being named Hegemony King. After that, then participating in the Demon Yuan City's 3 families meeting, all the way to the imperial capital. Now that he thought about it carefully, the things that happened to Kangqian in these 3 short years were sufficiently more colorful than his previous 18 years. In the middle of a quiet courtyard in the Jin Mansion, Kangqian, Jin San Xiao, and Master Feng Yuan sat down around a pavilion, and a maid immediately served tea and dessert. Jin San Xiao had been asking Kangqian about the things that had happened over the years, and for him, Kangqian did not hide anything, except for some important things. He told everything else. Jin San Xiao and Master Wind Edge were overwhelmed with emotion after listening. In these 3 short years, Kangqian had experienced the ups and downs of life, and even more so, he had experienced the sorrows and joys with his loved ones. It was as if he had realized his whole life. Brother, let bygones be bygones. As long as the Wong family has you in it, no one will dare to underestimate it in this great Tang country. If brother you want to establish the Wong family, I can find you a luxurious mansion in the imperial capital. Definitely no worse than you in Heavy Iron City, Jin San Xiao said solemnly. Jin San Xiao was right. With Kangqian's strength and qualifications nowadays, even without his help, establishing the Wong family in this imperial capital was not a matter of a single word, compared to the many forces in the imperial capital that wanted to draw in this young supreme being that was comparable to the 4 masters of the imperial capital in general. Forget it. The Heavenly Dao sect is my purpose. Sooner or later, I will head to the Heavenly Dao sect. I won't be able to stay in this great Tang country for very long. Kangqian shook his head, but still thanked Jin San Xiao. The other party also had good intentions. Master Feng Yuan nodded his head as he said, Kangqian is right. Not only you, even San Xiao may not be able to say that he will end up traveling to the Heavenly Dao sect. That's where your future lies, as long as you become true disciples in the future. Not to mention this tiny great Tang country. Even in the entire Flood Continent cultivation realm, that's a famous and powerful person. Among the millions of disciples of the Heavenly Dao sect, there were only a mere 1,000 true transmission disciples. Each one of them was a well-known figure in the Flood Continent, and in a small place like the Dotong country, they were even more powerful, comparable to the existence of the country's lord. Haha, yes, there are only a few short months left before the Heavenly Dao sect's disciple acceptance ceremony. After your battle with old Li Qi, I'm afraid that the Heavenly Dao sect's emissaries will be descending, Jin San Xiao said with a smile. Li Laoki. Oh, how is this fellow prepared? A trace of killing intent flashed in Kangqian's eyes when he heard this. He still remembered how the other party was so high and mighty at first, with a superior stance. Jin San Xiao smiled heatedly at his words and said, What else? When he heard about your battle results in Fengdu City, that old boy was so scared that he immediately closed down, and he hasn't come out of the gate until now. By the way, Li Yuanba also gave him a dragon pearl. That old guy is afraid that he can be promoted to the 9th level of the Jiden stage this time. How about it? Are you sure? 9th level of the Jiden stage. A cold light flashed in Kangqian's eyes, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. As long as he doesn't break through to the Yuanying stage, he'll definitely die this time. Jin San Xiao's eyes immediately lit up, patting his chest. Brother, just let go of it. I can guarantee that even if you kill Li Laoqi, the Li family won't dare to openly do anything to you. Not to mention, it will soon be the Heavenly Dao sect's big ceremony of accepting disciples. By then, if you go to the Heavenly Dao sect, they, the Li family, will be even more unable to do anything to you. Kangqian smiled faintly. He wasn't worried at all about what the Li family would do to him afterwards. Could it be that the Li family would still dare to go to the Heavenly Dao sect to seek revenge on him? Probably. The Li family could only let Li Yuanba seek revenge on him. However, although Li Yuanbo was powerful, as long as he broke through to the Jidan stage, Kang Chon was not afraid of any Jidan stage powerhouse. Even if the god of war, Zhao Wuji, he had the confidence to fight. Because Kang Chon also formed the 9 revolutions Jindan, and also special bloodline, after all, 10,000 years ago. That 4 called Bo Kang Chon Bo blood can be invincible in the world. Then he Kang Chon even worse is not much worse. Right. Brother, what realm have you reached now? The way I look at you, it seems like you haven't formed a Dan yet, Jin San Xiao suddenly asked.